What's going on, guys? Friendly neighborhood John Tall Paul. This video is basically the pros and cons of having an Airbnb in general. Doesn't have to be where you are. So the pros, I said definitely the biggest pro is probably the passive income. Another pro is having a tenant pay your rent for you, and if you own a place, pay it down, or if you sublease it, they're paying the rent for you. Another pro is I do midterm rentals, so the tenants usually leave the property in pretty pristine condition, sometimes cleaner than it was before, and it was pretty damn clean before they get in there. Another pro would definitely be different tax write-offs and doing your taxes differently than just not even having an Airbnb. That you can fall into a whole different category of being able to do different things with your taxes and have deductions and different things since it's a business expense. Obviously talk to a CPA. I'm not a CPA, but that's another pro is definitely the government likes people who house people, even if it's for a short period of time. And I do midterm rentals, which is basically stays of 32 days or more. So I'd say probably another great pro is this will be the last one I give you guys, is networking. Because when you actually have an Airbnb and you talk around with people and they're like, oh, my family member's coming in this weekend, let's say if it's short term, I don't know where they're gonna stay at, they're looking for a place. They're like, oh wow, I actually have an Airbnb in so-and-so city in the middle of nowhere in Kentucky, blah, blah, blah. Maybe they wanna stay there. All right, cool, send over the pictures. 2 weeks later, you get booked. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the way connections happen in today's society, and you never know who's going to be your next service that you're going to sell to make sure that your Airbnb is constantly booked. Now for the cons. So basically, the biggest con will be when it doesn't get booked, you're going to be coming up with the money to pay for the rent, and the tenant isn't going to be paying it. Another con would be if you do short-term rental, not midterm or long-term, you have to deal with tenants possibly destroying your property. Sometimes you have to, so that's 2. 3, you might have to deal with evicting the tenant if they don't leave. If you do short-term Airbnb and they don't want to leave, or midterm Airbnb. 4, if you honestly don't like to deal with people, this business isn't for you. So you have to deal with rude people, mean people, complainers, impatient people. All 4 of those you have to deal with. So dealing with people is number 4. You must have patience in all types of regards and situations. I'd say the last con would be if you're working by yourself. You're doing literally everything for your Airbnb by yourself. If it's, let's say, an arbitrage property where it's a studio, a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom, it's going to take you about probably 2 to 4 weeks to even furnish that place by yourself, especially if you work a full-time job. So time is probably one of the biggest issues that come with a con, because you have to put forth so much time that you don't even know if it's going to be like basically profiting or whatever. So it's a risk you gotta take, which obviously you should take the risk in my personal opinion. But for the 5th and final one, which was time is like the biggest thing, where you have to be willing to invest that time because you really don't know if you're going to see a positive result or not. Obviously, there are more pros and cons to be listed for having or owning an Airbnb, but those are probably the biggest 5 or 6, whatever I gave you guys, of cons and pros that come to owning or having an Airbnb. So with that being said, guys, have a fantastic, amazing week. I'm probably going to post another video right after this one, as long as time permits. But this one's the pros and cons of having / owning an Airbnb. So with that being said, chase your dreams as always. Stay hungry, stay vigilant, relentless, whatever. See ya in the next video. Tall Ball out.